Connecting your website to the Fediverse not only reduces the work of distributing your content on social media, but it also reduces the friction for new users who want to leave comments on your site, which is the goal. It's why we have our sites, is to interact with our users. Today, I'm talking to Matthias Pfefferle, the creator of ActivityPub for WordPress, a plugin that makes it extremely easy to connect your WordPress website to the Fediverse. The Fediverse is an ecosystem of websites and applications that communicate to each other through a shared protocol like ActivityPub. Now, right now, we tend to think of the Fediverse as mostly just social media, decentralized versions of microblogging platforms or decentralized versions of image sharing platforms, but it's actually far more than that. And to kind of prove this point, today we're going to be talking about what would happen if you connected your website to the Fediverse. This is very easy to do with the ActivityPub for WordPress plugin made by Matthias Pfefferle. And Matthias is going to be joining us today to talk about this. Matthias, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Let's kick things off by just describing what is the Fediverse. If I was to describe ActivityPub to someone, I might say something like it's a two-way version of RSS, but that might not be widely understood. So how do you like to describe the Fediverse?
I like to compare it with email because I would say email is the most known decentralized protocol that everyone knows. So it's kind of the social media version of email. It doesn't matter where you create your account and what tool you are used to publish stuff. You can simply follow everyone else that is on a platform that supports ActivityPub.
And so what are the reasons a website owner would decide to add their website to the Fediverse?
So in the WordPress community, we had a lot of discussions about that comments are dead. It's mostly because the classic WordPress or blogging ecosphere has stopped on RSS. So you could simply subscribe to someone's content, but it was simply a one-way solution. So you could read the blog posts of someone else in your reader, but to comment and to interact with that content, you had to leave your tool and visit the site to start a comment. And with ActivityPub, it's kind of the same experience, but you can use your tool where you subscribe to content to also interact. So it's one tooling to subscribe, to comment, to like, to share, to follow. So you have a very simple UI to do all of that social thing, and that brings back interaction and discussions to the blogosphere in the end.
So Fediverse integration is going to reduce the steps required to leave a comment. Thus, it's going to improve the interactivity.
Exactly. If you use your example from the beginning with RSS2, it's kind of the 2 is the tooling part where you kind of bring the ability to comment into the RSS reading tool in the end.
And along with reducing the friction of comments, joining the Fediverse can make it even easier to share your content because you're not going to have to go to one platform and paste and then go to another platform and paste and then sign up for a new platform and then paste there. You just share once and it gets distributed everywhere, right?
Yeah, and I would say it's no longer sharing. It's kind of the post is a first-class citizen of the Fediverse in the end. Because if you compare that with the old cross-posting stuff, when you really had to share a post on Twitter, you had to put a copy of your post inside of the small Twitter box to publish that. And all the communication that happens on Twitter only happened on Twitter. And with ActivityPub and the Fediverse, it's really your content lives all over the Fediverse. And if it's commented, you will have that comment in your comment section of your blog. And that's really amazing.
So we talked about the magic of the ActivityPub protocol and the benefits of sharing to the Fediverse. So let's get to it. How do you connect your WordPress website to the Fediverse?
It's literally simply installing the ActivityPub plugin and activate it. We build it to have the best possible default setup. So it's simply activating the plugin. We also provide some widgets. They are called blocks in the WordPress ecosystem that helps you to build simple follower widgets and to display a list of your followers. But simply to publish stuff, it's only activating the plugin.
Do you think any particular types of sites could benefit specifically from joining the Fediverse?
I would say independent journalism in general, because most news sites try to build up their audience on Twitter or Facebook or something like that, and there's a huge risk on that when your site gets blocked or your account gets blocked or something changes with the usage of APIs, and there are a lot of possibilities to block content in the end. So it's a huge risk to only use third-party platforms for that. And with ActivityPub, you kind of own your audience in the end, if that makes sense. And if you decide to change your platform, to change the software you use, it doesn't affect your audience because you simply take that with you.
I love that you called that out, that news sites, please join the Fediverse, share directly into the Fediverse. I do see some websites that are sharing links to things as posts on Threads and Mastodon, but I'd love to see websites sharing directly into the Fediverse where they can have more control of their content and followers can have a better interaction with them. They can comment directly with the content. Matthias, since you mentioned owning your audience, can you explain what that means?
So if you relied on social media before the whole Fediverse idea came up, you were very dependent on the closed social network playing nicely and do not block your account or going away in the end. So we already had that in the MySpace days, back in the days. So there's always the possibility that a social network could close completely. So in the Fediverse, it doesn't matter if a platform of some of your followers will shut down because the users on that platform can change their platform and still follow you in the end. So it's you build the opportunity for others to follow your content wherever they want to follow you in the end. And if they decide to change platforms, they can kind of subscribe to your content again on the new platform and vice versa.
And since we're talking about non-social media applications of ActivityPub and the Fediverse, what are some of the more interesting applications you've seen that have connected to the Fediverse using ActivityPub?
The most creative one that I saw is a chess game built on top of ActivityPub. I think they built it so that you can use every common ActivityPub platform to play chess against each other. And if you use their tool, you have a nice chess board displayed.
That sounds awesome. I have to try that out. Matthias, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciated chatting with you. How can people follow you online?
I would say, because my blog is in German, it's my last name, Pfefferle, Pfefferle, @mastodon.social.
That's it for this episode of the Fediverse Files. We'll post links to everything we mentioned in the description below. Stay tuned for more discussions and interviews as we continue to explore the world of federated content and open protocols. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But what I want to know is, what website do you wish joined the Fediverse? I'm waiting for The Verge. That's the one I'm excited. That'll be the Oprah joining Twitter. If you're around in like 2012 and that would be the big one for me. Verge joining. That's it. That's what we want.